So in like 3.5 hours, we've done next to nothing, basically, is the summary of today's live stream before the video. I did an extra bit of a key right here that you can see with the ferry terminal on it, right about here. That's, you know, that's great, but this isn't 3.5 hours worth of work. I've mostly been faffing around. I'll explain this road in a second. I also decided to add this up here because I thought it looked better, and it goes down the mountain and then splits off this way, because this was the source before this was the source. So this just looks better. It's kind of up in the hills, and that's also there because I'm kind of thinking of putting a village just in this spot next to forestry, because then they can all like work in forestry and also have like a little slip road going past it to the highway. I thought that'd be kind of cool. We've also had a couple of death waves. We've also, what else have I done? What else have I done? I really haven't done much for 3.5 hours. Gonna be completely honest. I built this area a little bit, so this is like filled in slightly, and this is filled in slightly, and this should probably be filled in slightly. But whatever. That's fine. We'll do that in a moment. I also want to mention for the YouTube audience who may not know, I recently got some puppies. I posted a video on it. If you didn't watch it, you're missing out. But I bring that up because they will probably bark at some point, and because I can also press a button and you can see them. They're currently trying to dig something up from beneath their bed. So more power to them. I'm gonna let them do their thing there, so that you know, if you hear barking, that's what it is. They are probably gonna tire themselves out in like an hour. So just, you're gonna have to deal with that. Like I'm dealing with it. You can deal with it too. That's just the way this is gonna be. Now let's go ahead and bring. I want to bring some roads down here a little bit to fill in this space, and I think I kind of want to just fill in a lot of spaces around the city to get started with. Like all of this space over here, I want to finish that, all of it. So I want to get some stuff on the beaches. I reckon a university campus could be quite cool in here. I reckon we could do something up here. I want to kind of finish this part of the city, and then we can start looking at all of this space, because I still want to put a nature reserve up here. And I mean, part of me wants to do like cable cars from the nature reserve over to the volcano island, but I don't know how good of an idea that is, because that would be, well, that'd be terrifying and probably way too steep, honestly. So maybe just cable cars down the mountain. Either way, people keep telling me to put cable cars in the city, so we're going to put cable cars in the city at some point. Absurd Graph in chat also mentioned that the forestry industry burned down quite a bit. It did. That's a thing that happened. All of this was on fire. That was, well, a thing, basically. That was a thing. But let's just get started filling in some space over here. We got some extra roads. We got to fill up this area, so let's do that. This space over here is actually looking, you know what? I think I might make it part of Myrtle Hills. So let's extend Myrtle Hills out a little bit and see what we can do with it. So it's going to come down around here. I'm going to have to like re-extend some of the industry there, but that's all right. We can do that in just a second. I think that's also going to change a lot of this to be like from green cities, isn't it? Which is fine as well. That's not a big deal. Just as long as it's all nice and neat. I think this can probably stay inside the district. Unless I can... Well, I can't actually have a little district that small, so that's fine. Let's just extend you. And this over here probably needs cut off as well, because Myrtle Hills does have an old-time policy that we're going to need to be dealing with. So cut all of you out of there. Bring you... Oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh, I have to tidy all that up again. Bring this over and just around like that. So there we go. Everything's kind of where it should be, which is exactly what we want. And hold on a minute. I'm just going to throw something at the dogs. Just got to aim it, and that shut them up. There we go. Fantastic. That's just to clarify, it was a paper ball that I hit their cage with. All right. It just, they bite, like they bite and they fight and they yell and bark. And then like, so one of them will bully one and then the other like bullies back, right? they're really as bad as each other. But, like, they both get upset, right? Like, one of them gets really annoyed, and then the other gets really annoyed. And it's just, yeah, it's constant, man. It is constant. Let's see. I think this'll do for the zoning in here. It doesn't need to be super neat. We'll have some extra space. That's fine. We don't have any demand for anything, which is not so good. But, you know, we'll figure that out. Let's just put some zoning there. And I think we're just going to do... I think we're just going to have to do offices on this. It's technically part of this same district, but I think it's just going to have to be... I think it's just going to have to be offices and a bit of commercial, because there's not really... I don't think I want to put industry right next to residential. They usually get quite sick when you do that, so... Just something a bit like that to fill up the space, and then we've got all of this in here to play with as well, but given that we don't have demand, it's going to be kind of tricky. That's kind of where I'm at right now. The whole build of this city has just like slowed down so much because of just lack of demand for anything, which I really dislike. Like that just happens. That's kind of just city skylines in a way. It's still frustrating. It's still really frustrating though, because I want to keep building, but I just, you know, you can't build much if there's not demand for anything to build. But I think this will actually look quite cool if we get a bunch of high rises in there. So I might actually make that like an IT cluster. A bunch of like super tall buildings, like surrounded by with highways cutting through and all that. I think that would look really good. So like up to there, up to like there. Let's see, what else can we do here? Up to like there. I think that could look really good. Let me just change this into normal roads though, because I kind of want to do the same on this side, just to make sure that the zoning is kind of in there. And then over here as well, we can go and do that. I think that'll look good. Just a bunch of really tall buildings with a bunch of highways and trains kind of cutting through them. I think that's going to look awesome. So let's get that surrounded, I suppose. It's going to be kind of tricky to do this properly because it's actually not coming off of an avenue the way I'd want it to. Yeah, that's actually going to be... Ooh. It's going to be weird to make this work the way I want it to, but I'm gonna do me best. So this just needs to come around. This is possibly going to be the weirdest district we've got, actually. But something like that. Maybe we don't do an old town policy on this, and maybe this district's not as neat as some of my other ones. But I'm kind of liking the idea of this. So this needs to come down here. Oh, that's cutting a bit weird, but okay. Yeah, can I fix that? Nope. All right. Yeah, this really isn't going to be as neat as some of my other districts. Yeah, that's going to annoy me, but there's like nothing I can do. It needs to be on the highway. It needs to actually come down here and needs to go up to there. So that's going to be, well, a bit of a mess, quite frankly. Definitely a bit of a mess, but not a whole lot that can be done. The district tool is kind of limited, so whatever. But there we go. So Valley Hills is going to be specialized into an IT cluster. We can maybe go and say, I don't know, electric cars. No one's living in there. Combustion engine ban, except for residents, businesses, and city service vehicles. I mean, that's going to make no difference. So let's just do like encourage biking and recreational use. Why not? And then all of that's just going to be IT. Which again, I think will look pretty good. I think it'll look really cool having these like giant buildings with all of the roads cutting through. So we'll have a little look at that as it builds. But the good news is that is actually that entire space filled up, barring this bit. And I'm also noticing a gap over here, but that's probably going to be more of a park than anything. So that's fine. That's all right. As for in here, I don't actually know what this could be. I mean, we could bring a little road off of here, but that's just going to cause... that's just going to cause, like, traffic problems, isn't it? Could do a little road off of there. I guess we could do that one. Let me see. Can I get this to, like, line up properly? So there to there and something like that. You know what? That'll do. Let's just do something like this, and that'll fill up that space. This little junction is not going to be traffic lights. Just give way. And also, yeah, no, that's fine. That's actually okay. So these guys can build on that road. That fills up the space. This is going to be like ultra high rises and stuff like that. So I think that'll look good. Maybe not as tall as I'd like it to, given that it's right next to, like, you know, Dean Heights, but I still think it's going to look pretty good. We're also getting a bit of demand for commercial, which is lovely. We haven't had that properly show up in a bit of a while, so that's fine by me. Let's just let all that build and, I guess, start working on the university campus, which has been a long time coming, to be honest, because number one, we have a lot of people eligible for universities and not a lot of space. And number two, I did mention that we would be doing a university campus at some point. So first things first, we're actually going to have to cut into this road here, which has been in the city for a long time. But we're going to cut into it and just make it a nice corner there. No nice curves today. Going for just the nice corner. That's all going to be commercial, and I don't think we're going to fill in that space. Actually, you know what? We will. We can totally do that with just a little bit of road here. So something like... Does something like this actually work? Yeah, kind of. Could do that and get it to work better. Then just do that, and it fills it all in quite nicely. And then all we need to do, I think, is say that you are not going to be having traffic lights there. Leetard 525 says remove the brown stain. Oh, I'm absolutely going to be removing that. I think that... I don't know what it is, actually. Let's find out. Why is the brush size just, like, not working? There we go. So we'll just take all that out. We're never going to be using that resource anyway. So just ditch all of that. And, I think that looks pretty good. I think over here we could probably do the same. But I'll leave it just for the time being, just in case we have, like... you know, some filthy polluting industry right next to our beautiful nature reserve. You never know with me in City Skylines, let's be real here. You can never be too sure what I'm gonna do. Much like Bob Ross, I do like to get crazy sometimes. Let's bring this out to about here. And then I'm not quite sure. I don't really want to... You know what? I think do an angle on this, like something like that, right? Go for some kind of angle. Bring it straight along to like there, or maybe even like there. I think that might be an idea, because then I can put keys on that. And I don't want it to be... I don't want this whole thing to be a beachfront. I've actually kind of decided that very recently. The whole thing, like, it's going to be a fairly small section of it that's actually a beachfront. It's going to be this bit, and I'm probably going to, like, extend the beach as well, so it's a bit bigger. But I don't really want the whole thing to be a beachfront. I think it just makes more sense if we have a lot of keys and kind of build right up against the water. Which is a bit weird given some of these islands, but I just think it's going to look better if we have keys around here, build right up to the island, and then the bit that actually looks out like the ocean is actually going to be the beach. I think we're going to do that. In fact, let's see if we can get away with doing the beach right off the bat. So brush strength is going to be that. We're going to grab that height, and we're going to go from here, and we're just going to raise the whole thing sort of up a bit. It's all going from there, and we can smooth this out a bit to make it look better. Obviously, the road's kind of cutting into it, but something like that, I think, could work. Then go and sort of smooth it a little bit. Smooth the sides out a little bit. And let's see if that actually pushes some water out. It's definitely given us, yeah. Hopefully that actually gives us a decent beach. It actually looks like the water is exactly where it was, if not closer to the road than it was before. That's actually not quite what I was going for. That has backfired. All right. Okay. Well then, what we can do instead is just raise the beach. So it's just going to be like this. It's going to like jut out into the water a bit. And then we'll slope it down and smooth it all out. That way we actually have a decent amount of sand, because that's kind of what we're going for. So we want to go from like that height out to there. So the whole way out to about there. Smooth the entire thing. And that actually gives us sort of the beach size that I wanted, because I can put some buildings on there and actually make that look pretty good. So let's just grab a bigger brush, smooth out the sides, smooth out all of this, and smooth out that bit too. So that way we actually have some proper space for a beach. We can actually put some pretty good buildings on there, get some hotels, do all that stuff, and I'm kind of excited about it actually. I think that'll be pretty good. Although I might need to do a bit more sand, but I think that'll be pretty good. That does give us a good amount of space to build on. So we'll do that in a little bit. Let's get on with this road and the keys around it as well first. So I kind of want the keys to be like right against the zoning. So basically that. Because I don't particularly feel like going crazy with them. So let me grab all of that, including the node. So grab all of this up to that point. Can I flatten it to like that height? I totally can. And then can I bring the keys up to the same height as well? I totally can. Those actually look like they need... Oh no, they don't need raised. It just needs smoothed. Okay. That's actually perfectly fine with me. So let's smooth all of that terrain. Make it look the part. So there we go. So the keys are going to be right there. We can actually sort of chisel this away a little bit and let the water come up closer. But we could put like an amusement park here. We could do whatever, really. Like there's definitely a few options there that I'm kind of excited about. I also think this needs to be not flooded. That's not quite right, is it? That's not quite right. Do we have any of the services that can get rid of that? I don't think we do have a pumping service anywhere. That could be pretty good down by the docks. But I think, is there any space for it? What size is it again? It's quite big. Quite a big building. Oh, these guys also don't have water. We're gonna need to fix that. Let me see. Does it fit here? It actually, you know what? It totally does. So it totally will. There we go. Pumping service right by the beautiful, beautiful park. Well, that is that area well and truly ruined, but whatever. You can never be too sure when you're gonna need a good pump. So, you know, we'll have that there. In terms of roads along here and keys along here, I kind of want this to stay relatively straight as well. So, we might actually have to build the roads on this first. I think we will have to build the roads on this first. So let's try that. It's been a while since I've done like the external roads in this city, hasn't it? So we want to go like here, right? So up to about, well, let me turn off guidelines. Up to about there. And then I think here. Straight across. I think that's going to go straight across, actually. That's just going to go, that's going to go there. And I think we're going to try and connect that up here, actually. So bring that out. Bring that out a little bit further. And give me some guidelines to get a nice little... Oh, no, not like that. Get a nice little curve like that. And then these bits back here can be sorted. And I do totally need to connect up the pump I just placed. I realize a few people in chat are pointing that out. You're completely right. That pump is going to need connected to the pipes. We can do that in just a second. Let me see. So do this, do that. That's a little sharp right there, but I think I'll allow it. And that's going to look weird, having all these sort of connections around the place. It's going to look strange, because we've not really had like a border wall around the whole... Wall? No, border road. Border wall. That's topical. That's topical. Let's not go there. Let's not go there at all. Let me see. Connect you up to there and up to there. Should probably clarify that, shouldn't I? There was a bit of a discussion about that topic in the stream earlier, which is generally against the rules of the stream, but I took part, so I can't really complain. Let me see. So I probably don't want to put a highway, an avenue connection here, right? Because the avenue connection here is going to be too close to that junction, I think. So I think an avenue sort of going from here might be the better bet. Yeah, it's a bit messy, but it's probably as good as it's gonna get. Then all over here, like this whole area needs built up, so there's not a lot we can do right there. Could probably get away with one here as well, but that was going to be our campus, so maybe here, although that's quite close as well. I think it's going to have to be, though. So that gives us pretty good space in here for like a university kind of campus, I think. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. Let me just do some terrain editing then to see if we can manage to get the keys where I need them to be. So this all needs just sort of flattened and brought up real close to those roads, and then we can smooth it out afterwards, but right now I just want it real close to the roads. We'll smooth out some of this bit. And we just let the water readjust. Just let the water chill a little bit. And maybe also grab a bunch of this road and try and flatten it out. It's definitely going to make it a little bit less interesting to drive on, but in terms of city planning, I mean, this is a nightmare. This is going to be a nightmare area to figure out, but we'll do it. We'll absolutely figure it out. This all needs to be leveled to that height as well. That's actually, I'm pretty sure that is lower than the water line. That is not quite right. Tell you what, let's grab these bits. Actually, let's not do that. Let me grab you and say be the same height as that, right? So that bit's fine as a slope, but what I'm gonna do is take out these parts and just reset the straight slopes so that kind of slopes down nicely. Let's see, what else can I... The dogs are fighting again. Let me see here. There's a bit of paper, and that worked. That definitely stopped them. But yeah, that works. That's a nice little slope. This whole bit here is probably a little bit too low. So maybe grab all of this and all of this and raise it a little bit, maybe to that height. Is it already that height? It is already that height. Okay, grab you as well then. And raise it just enough so it's like above the water, which I think is pretty good. Then we have a little slope, but that can be nice and smooth. That is not what I wanted. So get rid of you. Let's go like this, bulldoze you, and like that. Nice little slope down to the intersection. That's kind of perfect. Okay. Okay, so that's going to be our coastal roads. The water actually seems to be going pretty well, so let's just get our keys in here, which is going to be from this point all the way to... Give me the right point here. Right there. Then from that point to there. And from here back to there. Alright, now that's all going to need to be twisted and turned a little bit to make it actually line up the way it should, but that's going to look pretty good, I think. Now this needs extend as well, which is totally fine by me, so up to there. And I should be able to do that. There we go. So that, yeah, it's a bit, you know, it's a bit much. It's a bit much control for the coastline and all that, but I think it's going to look good. I think it's going to be all right. Now let's raise all the keys up to the height they need to be. Raise all these nodes up to whatever the nearest node's going to be. So you're going up to that height. You are going up to that height. Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually slightly concerned that these bits of key might be the wrong way around. It actually kind of looks like they're gonna be. It does ever so slightly look like they're sort of the wrong way around. They're pulling the terrain up with them, which is usually a sign. Tell you what, let me grab a few nodes here and see if I can just like raise it all up at once. So you're all going to that height. That actually looks a lot lower. That does look quite low. I think it's because we have a bit of slope here. Like there's some sand that's all raised up. So fair enough. It's probably fine. It's probably fine. That's yeah. That's just a weird bit of sand. Let me see. This is going to be lowered a bit. Oh, this is where it's going to start getting weird though, isn't it? Because this now needs to be raised to the same height as the road here. That actually, you know what? That actually didn't go so bad. Oh, that's not right though. That actually looks okay to me, which I'm really pleased about. So, you know, I can get behind that. I'm really pleased with that. So that, yeah, that's our waterfront. That's going to go the whole way around there. Probably want to raise it all up a little bit. I probably want to raise it all up a little bit because if I don't, it is going to be, well, quite frankly, a bit of a mess. It is a bit low and I don't think it's that noticeable. So maybe I do want to go in, grab, you know, all of these nodes, including the roads as well. I'm going to get those in a second. But I might just want to be like, you know, grab all these, grab all of those, grab these guys and these guys. And just raise them a little bit. Because I think that's better looking. I do think that's better looking. So yeah, this is all like the wrong height now, but I think if that's smooth, it'll be fine. I think that'll be okay. This bit's quite low as well, which has me a bit worried. Maybe we want to just raise that to the same height as the road. There we go. And then this bit can just slope down because it goes onto the beach. That's fine. There we go. And then this bit just needs to be raised a little bit as well. I like that. I like that a lot. I mean, it needs smooth, but that's definitely a better that's definitely a better look than what it was. So raise this bit as well. This bit here could maybe be adjusted slightly. I'm spending way too long on this, but this is what this series is at this point, to be completely honest. Like it is more of a creative thing than it was necessarily supposed to be. That was never really my plan. It just sort of happened. It did just sort of happen. And I'm actually really enjoying it, so it's not going to be changing. But that looks better. We've got, you know, our nice beachfront sort of wall thing. Let's bring this down a little bit. and smooth. Actually, you know what? Smoothing that makes it a lot worse. I think we need to grab the height and just flatten it. So the water is going to be right against the wall. So just right up against that. I think it's going to be the same around here. So right up against it. And the whole way sort of down to probably about there is where we want it to like level out. Actually, that's interesting. That is actually going to need smoothed quite considerably. So bring that size down, just smooth this. That's going to do some weird things to the water right there, I think. That's going to do some really weird things to the water. Let me see if I can just like cut some channels through here. Otherwise, I think the water might like not flow the way I want it to. Which would definitely be a bad thing. So cut some channels sort of through there, and then we can just smooth that out a little. There we go. So we'll see what that does. It should pull the... It should pull the water away from the wall and then eventually go back up against it, which is perfect. It gives us a much harsher sort of line, and you know what? I feel like this needs to be a big curve. I feel like instead of like this kind of jagged thing going on, that needs to be a big curve. I don't think that looks very good. So I might actually do that. Down here is fine, like that's a bit more of a gentle one, but I think this should just be like a large kind of curve there. So we can maybe just do... Yeah. Now that's a bit too far, but let me see. Give me the point. There it is, and straight to there. That's a lot better. That is a lot better. All right. Let me see. So where's my keys? There's my keys. So this goes up to what point? I think there. I think that's... Yeah, that's the start of the curve. Then this side is already at the start of the curve. So can I actually get these to line up, or is that going to be... That's going to be a bit of a nightmare, isn't it? Can I get this side to line up? It doesn't really look like it. That looks about right, though. Yeah, that is a lot better. That's a lot nicer looking. So we can sort of flatten this down as well and just have the water. The water is going to be moving a lot faster. That's possibly a bad thing. It's a bit more dangerous, but I just think this whole thing looks better. Let me smooth out the beaches then, because we do have some weird like hill things going on there. And then we're good to start putting like buildings down here. And I think this is going to be a really good area for some tourism buildings as well. So hotels and leisure and all that kind of stuff. Because we do have a lot of tourists. We do actually have a lot of tourists in the city. Mostly because the parking lots are technically tourist attractions. But, you know, that's fine. That's just the way it is, you know? People go to cities to see parking lots, right? That's a thing. It's probably a thing somewhere. Probably a thing somewhere. But yeah, I think that actually looks pretty good. That's gonna be nice to build in there and like have buildings right against the water and just make it all pretty. This bit's still gonna be a nightmare to build on, but we'll do that later. Let's get started with the university campus then and see what we can do on that. So I think it should probably have sort of a little mini one-way system going on. I like the idea of that a lot. So I think I want to do like, let's see, up to like here, right? So that's going to go over into the corner. And I actually think it should probably exit onto one of these like larger intersections. So maybe this is actually going to be the entrance there. So that can sort of be the way in, that can be the way out. But you've got a couple of options when you do get in here. In fact, you know what? I think it's going to go the other way. So turn off guidelines. My mouse is super sensitive right now. There we go. So down to, let's see. You know what? Let's just have it border the existing road. Let's just have it border this entire existing road, because I think that's gonna be kind of cool. Just have this like huge university campus, right? Because again, it is something we've been saying we'll be doing for a long time, and we're just not getting around to it. So something like that, right? This little bit down here just needs to go like that. I'm not actually sure what way this is going to work exactly. It's probably going to have a lot of gonna be a lot of different types of schools in here, I think. But that's probably okay. So that's a way out. That's the only way in right now. We probably want to fix that. So having another little way in there is probably a good idea. And over here as well. Now that actually has a direct highway connection, which is probably a good thing. That is probably a good thing. Now let's get started and see what exactly we can do here. So I don't think the university building itself needs to be on a one-way road. I think what I'm actually going to do is put the university building itself like here. So say 10 that way, 10 that way, and we can do this one, which is apparently sloped too steep. Of course it is. All right. What about the other one? The other one actually works fine. And we can have multiple of these. Like we don't need just like the one building, but I do want to do. I actually want to do some space around it here because I can do parking lots, which, I mean, that's going to be a thing around a university, isn't it? So grab all of this, make it all that height. Grab the building, make it that height, which is not going very well. Building that height, please, and smooth. So there's going to be a fair bit of terraforming here just to make this actually work, but I think I can make it look good. And actually, you know what? I don't think I want to put parking lots directly. Actually, no, we'll do parking lots around this. It's got concrete and it's nothing but concrete, so having like this tiny little section of park is just going to look weird. So we'll do parking lots there. Can I leave the corners open? I technically can, but I think I'm actually going to just like extend these down into the corners because I think we might be able to fill up this space fairly well. And that little bit in the middle is perfect because that actually gives us space for, like, I've got these new like metro things, which are pretty cool. There's like a bunch of different versions of them. Unfortunately, I don't actually have a big one, which is annoying. So I guess we are just going to go with the classic metro station right there, which I think looks pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. We are going to need to do some stuff up here then, because that's going to be like one. So that's like, you know, your science building or your whatever, you know, lecture halls or something like that. Up here can be another building, I guess. This can be this one if I can get it, which I can't really do it there, but I can do it in that spot. So let's do this one, which is going to have a big cliff behind it, which is a bit weird looking, but I can make that look okay. I can totally make that look okay. I want to bring a road down around this, same as the other one there. So road's going to go like this. We're not going to have parking lots around this one because this one's actually going to have to be, this one's going to have some concrete walls sort of like holding it up there. But that's okay. That bit of detail, that kind of detailing, I think is going to make it look pretty cool. Now, why is this all, hold on. Can we select all of this and just get it to like the same height? There we go. That's a bit of a steep hill, but it's not too bad. So yeah, we can do like some walls around this. You know, make it look supported. I think this whole area should actually be flat because I can do multi-stories or parks or something in there, so that's fine. and then just like, you know, straight slope this whole thing so that it actually looks quite nice. Obviously, a bit steep there, but that's fine. Let me see. What kind of walls are we going to use on this? I think that's so high that I won't actually be able to use the curbs. I think I'm going to have to use keys on that, which is kind of annoying. I was hoping I wouldn't have to use keys on this, but whatever. That's okay. We can go just like that, basically. And then I should be able to just raise the corner up to that height. And just raise the entire thing up to that height. And suddenly, you've got this whole thing nicely supported. It looks like it's actually sort of a structure. And it actually doesn't just look like a weird cliff, which is lovely. Let me just grab you and extend it to about there. And then lower it. That's behaving kind of weirdly, but that I think looks okay. I actually really like that. I kind of want to move it in a little closer though. So like into there. This one needs moved to about there, I think. And this can also be moved in as well, just to really, you know, make it look like it's there to sort of support the building. I think that looks pretty good. This bit just probably needs moved out slightly. But yeah, I think that looks pretty great. We can just sort of smooth it and it's being weird, but whatever. So yeah, you have something that looks like it's there to sort of hold up a building. And that's kind of the point. Yeah, there's some weird slopes and all that, but I like that. Actually, I think it might look better if we didn't have those weird slopes. So let's just sort of cut away at that a little bit. You know what? That actually does, I think, look better. Not having like the weird slopes there. Like very slight slopes are fine. But I think if I smooth this out, I think that looks better. That might need to be a bigger brush. But something like that. I like this area kind of being a little more flat down here. And that'll definitely, like this whole bit needs covered. This whole bit needs detail to hide our crimes and all that. But you know, we can do that. We can get parking lots in there. We can get other things. There's plenty more things need to go in here. We've got faculty buildings, for example. We're going to need a few of these. We've got community schools, which I definitely want one or two of. In fact, one right there, and honestly, another one right there. Oh, they almost connect together. That would have been really great if they just connected together perfectly there, wouldn't it?